John or I.
I think I could forge John's.
I don't know.
This is just
Kind
sort of
of a
like,
J.
Oh, his is.
It's just kind of
It's
a
a
J with
long
a tail.
and a that.
Bill said that and everyone's hands went.
I always, because he's just a couple
Yeah.
bumps. And
very,
John is
very
down
much
in
an
the crowd.
economy of effort with his. You know, if John's not here, we could maybe scoot over a little bit.
Really spread out.
Is he not going to be here?
No. Did he not tell you?
No, no one tells me anything. This
John's
man.
not going to be here. He's in Long Island.
I think John,
Was he with his
Kay, John's
mother?
not going to be here. Right, your turn.
Now
Rose.
you all tell me.
And
Evening.
How are you today?
Just dandy. Somebody haircut today.
Nobody likes sitting in the front.
Even adults, it's weird.
Oh, yeah, no, usually I write that at the very end, so.
something from T.
Ready? Fight 7. Got 6:50.
But we're good to go. Please rise and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you all for joining us here this evening. Kay, could you call the roll?
Dennis,
Here,
Harold,
here.
Hollenbach,
Here.
Phipps,
Here.
Robinette,
Here.
Roland,
Here,
Zanfordino.
Okay, the minutes from our meeting on June 7th were circulated prior to this meeting for your perusal. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Okay. Okay, do we have any correspondence this evening?
Yes, I have 2 items this evening. The first is a recommendation from the mayor for a planning commission appointment, and the appointment is for Mark Remus for a 6-year term ending 5/31/27, and that requires your approval, please.
Mr. President,
Mr. Harold,
I move that we approve the appointment of Mark Remus to the Planning Commission.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. All right. Thank you, Mark Remus.
And then
Okay.
also distributed to you prior to the meeting was the financial budget summary report for the month of May. And that's noted for the record, and that's all I have. There are no budget transfers this evening, Mark. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Lobby visitation.
Just Mary Hinkleman.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mary Hinkleman, Executive Director of the Bowling Green Chamber of Commerce, 217 South Church Street. And I'm here tonight to remind everybody about our annual fireworks. Our community fireworks is right around the corner, July the 3rd. I want to remind everybody that we have a new location. So we're very excited. We'll be launching the fireworks from a secure area within the National Tractor Pullers property. No authorized persons will be allowed past the cement blocks. So we're very, very happy that no one can accidentally wander into that area. It would have to be intentional, but it's a little bit different than just the fencing around there. We will have the display. The best way to watch the display will be at the back parking lot for the fairgrounds off of Brim Road. That parking lot will open at 7 p.m. and we will have assistance with volunteers to help get everybody parked really well. Those that come early will get the best parking places, but I'm telling you, the area is just beautiful for watching where we're launching from. So come out early and just enjoy the fireworks. The fireworks will be the only part of the annual fireworks. We won't have the community band this year, but we're looking forward to a new vision next year, which will include that community band and lots of other things. And hopefully we'll make it this a wonderful full day event. Any questions, you can give us a call at the chamber office. And if you guys have any questions, I can answer them for you, hopefully. No?
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's all we have.
Okie dokie. Introduction of new legislation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
on behalf of the Finance Committee, I have an ordinance for cleaning of streets by special assessment.
Mr. President, on
Ms.
behalf of the
Rowland.
Parks and Recreation Committee, I have a resolution authorizing the City of Bowling Green to participate in the local park improvement grant program and to file an application and accept grant funding upon grant application approval.
Let's see. I have an ordinance vacating a portion of a utility easement located on the south property line at 1822 Timber Ridge Drive, and an ordinance authorizing a utility easement in the Woodbridge Business Park. Official reports, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. I have several things today. First of all, we've begun a transition in our finance office. I'm happy for the opportunity to introduce to you in the Bowling Green community tonight, Dana Pinkert. Our new finance director is with us this evening. Dana's in the process of moving to Bowling Green. It was her first day at work, and we are certainly happy to have Dana with us. It also marks the end of an era. Brian Bouchon, as you're all well aware, has announced his retirement, and this time I think he's actually going to do it. We had an opportunity at a staff meeting last week to celebrate Brian's service to the city. And I just want to once again say publicly to Brian how much we appreciate his service to the community. Brian came to work for the city in 2008 and has been an exceptional public servant. He has helped guide the city through not only the recession of 2008 and the aftermath, but also COVID. I will tell you that I was very satisfied and grateful on a personal level that Brian last year agreed to extend his employment in order to help the city navigate the uncertainty associated with COVID. So I will always be personally grateful to Brian for that accommodation. But as I mentioned, Brian's worked for the city since 2008 and has just been an incredible finance director. So Brian, thank you very much for your service to the community. Dana, welcome. And I just hope you will join me and give Brian a round of applause and saying thank you to him for his service to the Bowling Green community. One last chance, Brian. Anything you want to say? Are you good? Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Brian. Also this evening, I have with me a letter from the United States Department of the Interior concurring to the recommendation from the State Historic Preservation Office verifying Bowling Green, City of Bowling Green's designation as a certified local government. This is a huge accomplishment, and we owe a debt of gratitude to the hard work of really a number of people. This goes back, as you're aware, for several years when there was a committee that was put together to study the feasibility of implementing this process in the City of Bowling Green. We finally got there. And the members of that committee, I'm not remembering the timeline, but it was a while ago. Mark, you served on that committee, I know. And then we formed the Historic Preservation Council, took action, and formed the Historic Preservation Commission. Les Barber is here this evening. He's been an original member of the HPC and has been involved in this work for really almost from the beginning. So I want to say publicly, thank you, Les, and also members of the Historic Preservation Commission for your hard work. Heather Saylor worked exceptionally hard along with HPC to implement all of the legislation the council approved last year. And I'm really grateful that we got it done. Council, you guys did a great job reviewing the legislation, and it was sent to the state, approved, and now we have the verification of both entities required to complete that process. So congratulations to everybody involved in that. We now look forward to pursuing the opportunities associated with this designation. So finally, I do have a proclamation. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, June has been Proclamation Month. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the proclamation for Flag Day. On Saturday, I was grateful for the opportunity to present a proclamation at the really great event that took place at Worcester Green, signifying and celebrating Juneteenth. So this evening, I have another proclamation from the Office of the Mayor, and I'm going to go ahead and read it if you don't mind. Whereas LGBTQ plus pride refers to a global movement and philosophy asserting that all people, inclusive of their sexualities and gender identities, should be affirmed in their self-worth and dignity, proud of their resilience, and have the right to equity and equality. And whereas the City of Bowling Green has a long history of inclusiveness and welcoming and is fortunate to be a diverse community, including LGBTQ plus residents. And whereas Bowling Green actively celebrates this diversity through Not in Our Town and the city's Human Relations Commission, two organizations actively working to promote equity, equality, inclusiveness, and understanding of all people. And whereas as part of these efforts, Bowling Green has taken a proactive stance on enacting laws that protect against discrimination, Chapter 39 of the city's codified ordinances, as well as passing resolutions condemning violence, hate speech, and proclaiming our community as safe and welcoming for all. And whereas June is National Pride Month to commemorate the Stonewall riot and ensuing events that occurred in New York City in 1969 that are believed to be the beginning of the LGBTQ plus liberation movement in the United States. Now, therefore, I, Mike Osbacher, Mayor of the City of Bowling Green, do hereby proclaim June 2021 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month in this municipality and encourage all residents to promote allyship with and advocacy for our LGBTQ plus neighbors to live out the Human Relations Commission and NIAT ideals of celebrating diversity and welcoming all, inclusive of their sexualities and gender identities. So I will we'll have this on file in our office. We also began today flying the pride flag in front of the building, which we will do all of this week. That completes my report, unless you have any questions.
Are there any questions for the mayor this evening? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's see. It looks like Ms. Otley. Are there any questions for Ms. Otley? Thank you very much. Mr. Marsh.
President, perhaps Joe has a,
Oh, I'm sorry, Joe. Would you like to? Okay. I guess I know Joe better than you do. Any questions for Joe? Okay. All right, that brings us to council committee reports. No council committee reports.
Wow, that saved about a half hour, Mark.
There we go. Moving right along. Reading of legislation.
Right. Legislation for first reading. Resolution number 3800 for first reading. Resolution authorizing the City of Bowling Green to participate in the Local Park Improvement Grant Program and to file an application and accept grant funding under grant application approval. Ordinance number 8945 for first reading. Ordinance for cleaning of streets by special assessment. Ordinance number 8946 for first reading. Ordinance vacating a portion of a utility easement located on the south property line at 1822 Timber Ridge Drive.
I would like to suspend the rules to give ordinance 8946 its second and third reading.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Okay,
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Okay, the rules are suspended for ordinance 8946.
Ordinance number 8946 for second and third reading. Ordinance vacating a portion of a utility easement located on the south property line at 1822 Timber Ridge Drive.
All right, I move to adopt ordinance 8946.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 8946 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8947 for first reading. Ordinance authorizing a utility easement in Woodbridge Business Park. Legislation for second reading. Resolution number 3797 for second reading. Resolution adopting the estimate of revenues for the year 2022.
No, Greg, there was a misprint. We need this to have its second and third reading.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to suspend the rules and give Resolution 3797 its third reading.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Okay,
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Robinette.
Yes.
I didn't get my name called.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes, I'd like to participate.
I guess she knows you better than us.
I guess.
did I say Harold?
I
Did I
don't
call
know.
you?
Maybe he got to vote twice.
Okay.
You
all
got
right.
me twice, but that's okay.
Okay. All right,
I vote yes if I didn't before.
the rules are suspended for resolution 3797.
Resolution number 3797 for third reading. Resolution adopting the estimate of revenues for the year 2022.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt Resolution 3797.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 3797 is adopted.
Resolution number 3798 for second reading. Resolution adopting and authorizing an amended BG transit drug and alcohol testing policy. Resolution number 3799 for second reading. Resolution calling for a sustainability and climate action plan.
Mr. President?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. At our last meeting, Mayor Osbacher requested 3 amendments to our sustainability plan resolution. I'm happy to support and offer 2 of those right now. The first is to require plan approval by the Board of Public Utilities. I think this is a really great idea. Our residents and partners in business and industry rely on our utility and its competitive rates, and this provision expressly requiring BPU involvement and approval should help ease any concern that a sustainability plan will cause rates to increase. Like our city's other planning documents, the sustainability plan will include near, mid, and long-term projects to be implemented as opportunities and funding allow. So any project in the plan that is within the BPU's purview, will then necessarily need to be considered and approved a second time, according to the BPU's usual procedures, if that project is going to then be implemented. I think this is a good idea. So I move to amend sections 1 and 4 of Resolution 3799 to require plan approval by the Board of Public Utilities.
And I would second that.
Mr. President, just a point of clarification.
Mhm.
So it would read approved by the mayor, comma, city council, comma, and the Board of Public Utilities.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then section 4 also references the mayor and city council receiving the plan by a certain date, and I would just add public utilities there
Okay.
too, Board of Public Utilities there.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. So what we're talking about here is adding this change to the resolution as it sits right now.
It's the one change.
Just the one change.
Okay.
We're going to do them separately.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how I was planning to do it.
All right, is there any other discussion on this suggested amendment? Okay. You want to call the roll? Okay.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbach,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette.
Yes.
Okay, so the amendment to 37.99 or 3799 is adopted.
Mr. President,
Ms. Phipps,
the second amendment I would offer would be to amend the deadline for the final plan in section 4 to June 2023.
Second?
okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Yes. I appreciate that the mayor gave his perspective and that Rachel is amenable to adjusting that time. I think it's a move in the right direction. I personally would feel more comfortable with it being yet still in 2023, but closer to the end of the year. So my preference would be November, December, is toward the end of the year. So if there's anybody that's like, yeah, that would be really good, then could say something and maybe we could pursue changing that. But I think that moving it more towards the end of the year gives us that much more breathing room.
Do you have Mr. President,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a specific reason in mind as to why we couldn't have it completed by then?
Yeah, are you waiting for like budget work to be done or what exactly is?
No, I think it's just in terms of the amount of time, because as I see it, and I will bring it up in a minute when we're done with this, but there's a lot of heavy lifting with this. I know that it's not like this is done all the time, so we're going to be blazing new trails. And even if you take as an example the university, it's taken them a very long time. And I'm not saying that as a negative. It's, you want to take the time to go through, and that's the university. So for me, it would just be more breathing room. And it's not asking like a huge amount more. It's just going from June to November or December.
I really like, Mr. President,
Mm-hmm.
one, this is Mayor Osbacher's suggestion, and so I hope that he consulted with staff in setting that date. And two, I like that it's early enough in the year, so if we need to get anything into what would be these 2 years from now, the 23 budget, that it allows us to do that. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, is there any discussion on the amendment to the amendment?
Mr. President, I just feel since the Sustainability Committee will be doing the load of the bulk of the load of work, they should have a say in when they think it should be done, and we haven't heard.
You're saying the Sustainability Committee is going to be putting this climate action plan together?
Well, doing the work on it.
So you're saying the Sustainability Committee of City Council will be putting the
No, Rachel's saying no.
The resolution calls for a committee to be created of city staff and citizens. I mean, I hope we're involved, but but I don't think we'll be doing, I don't think we'll be doing the heavy lifting.
I knew about that, but I thought you were going to be doing more heavy
I'm
lifting.
happy to
so-
do as much lifting, but I don't think, I don't think the resolution calls for too much heavy lifting by our council.
All right,
But
More oversight.
Well,
I
how about
withdraw
this?
that comment.
We have it's been moved and seconded for the June date, so let's vote on that. If that gets voted down, I'll assume it's being voted down because people want to extend it to November. And then we can have an amendment to make those changes as of November. So, Kay. could you call
Dennis?
the roll?
Yes.
Harold,
A no vote just means you'd rather have a later.
No.
Okay.
Hollenbach,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
Okay, so the second amendment to 3799 regarding the timetable for completion of the study is going to be set at the June date.
Ordinance number 89.
Mr. President,
Yes.
before we move on, there's a few things I'd like to bring up. And the motivation for it is not necessarily to get an answer tonight, but to just present it so that we can maybe have some clarification by next meeting. And that is, I've gone through this, spent a bit of time on it. There's a lot of good in it. There's levels of concern that I have, but I will try and just limit it to one, and that is from my background in analytics and in strategic planning and so forth. I see this as kind of the cart before the horse, and what I mean by that is we're specifying a goal, and then we're going to have a sustainability and climate action plan developed to meet that goal. And so there's going to be quite a bit of effort put forth in the sustainability and climate action plan derivation to meet that goal. So it should be very important to us that the goal is the proper goal. And that's where my concern is that right now, we're stating that we will endeavor to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions from electricity production and city operations, which is very clear. I appreciate that clarification, by 2040. And so there's a couple aspects to that. One is the year 2040. And I think the specification of the year is something that would fold into the Sustainability and Climate Action Plan Committee. And also, it's a particular concern to me that when we're trying to figure the proper mix, and I will, instead of saying the net zero greenhouse gas emissions, I'll just say renewables, just to keep things simple, because I'll trip over the words if I say it too many times. So what we're saying in this resolution is we have determined that the goal is to have 0% non-renewable renewables and 100% renewables. And to me, we don't have enough information to determine that that is the optimum. In other words, if I were to say, let's picture for a moment 101 pie charts. We could just envision 101 pie charts, where over on this end we have 100% non-renewables, and I'll just say for natural gas, just again, keep it simple. And then 0% renewables, and then I go by 1% increments to the 101th one, which says 0%, we'll say natural gas, 100% renewables. There are trade-offs in all of those. We're heading in the right direction, I think. We don't have to determine what the exact percent is to move toward the upper limit. But what is the advantage that we're saying that it's optimum to have, let's choose between 5% natural gas, 95% renewables, or 100% renewables? In that 5%, and if someone were to ask me what's the difference between 5% and 0%, I would be very, very quick to say 5%. But the crux of my question is, what makes the 100% renewables so that we'd be so confident that that is the optimum mix over a 5% natural gas, 95% renewable? And if we go beyond simply saying carbon emissions bad, if we go beyond that and say there are many, if we took 10 minutes to brainstorm all the different effects and all the different components and trade-offs and advantages and disadvantages, we would see that it goes well beyond that. So my concern is that we're specifying a target that may not be the optimum target. It may be that maybe because of redundancy, because of cost, because of quality of life, because of just the overall demand of renewables on our country as a whole, that it turns out that maybe 95% renewables, 5% non-renewables is a better mix. So if we specify prematurely what our goal is, when in fact the optimization of our rather sophisticated equation is something else, then we've pretty much assured ourselves we're not going to come up with the optimum decision. So I would like to see at least some discussion or clarification between now and next meeting on what are the criteria for determining what the optimal mix is. And I can tell you, as someone who has taught optimization, has programmed optimization, and has had optimization projects, as well as forecasting and strategic planning, this is a bit involved, and it would be a dangerous route for us to go to prematurely decide on a mix. And so to me, it would be great to have the additional clarification. If it turns out upon reflection that we do not have a firm answer as to why option A or B would be better, then maybe what we could do is alter the Sustainability and Climate Action Plan mission to also investigate that. To me, if we don't spend the time figuring out what our goal is and we just assume a goal and then spend a lot of resources trying to meet that goal, we're selling ourselves short. So go through that process to come up with what it is exactly where the factors are and how to optimize it. And that's what I had to say, Mr. President.
Okay. Well, we will have discussion on this naturally before we vote. So I would suggest that if there's a plan of action that you would like to see take place, that you sort of crystallize that, send it out to people so that they understand what exactly looking for.
You mean I wasn't clear enough?
It was brilliantly crystal clear.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Ordinance number 8943 for second reading. Ordinance amending and adopting section 33.31 of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding uniforms for city employees.
Mr. President?
This is another one.
Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
I move to suspend the rules and give ordinance 8943 its third reading.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Kay?
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
Yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
All right. The rules are suspended for ordinance 8943.
Ordinance number 8943 for third reading. Ordinance amending and adopting section 33.31 of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding uniforms for city employees.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette.
I move to adopt ordinance 8943.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 8943 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8944 for second reading. Ordinance amending and adopting section 33.27A, B, and D of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding vacations.
Mr. President, I move that we suspend the rules and give ordinance 8944 its third reading.
Second.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Okay,
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh.
yes. The rules are suspended for ordinance 8944.
Ordinance number 8944 for third reading. Ordinance amending and adopting section 33.27A, B, and D of the codified ordinances of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio regarding vacations.
President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt ordinance 8944.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps.
Yes.
All right, ordinance 8944 is adopted.
Resolution number, this is legislation for third reading. Resolution number 3793 for third reading. Resolution declaring it necessary to replace an existing tax for the purpose of providing funds for parks and recreation purposes and requesting the Wood County Auditor to certify the total current tax valuation of the city and the dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by that levy, and declaring the necessity of a levy in excess of the maximum rate authorized by law without a vote of the electors of 2.0 mils.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt resolution 3793.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette.
Yes.
All right, resolution 3793 is adopted.
Resolution number 3794 for third reading. Resolution determining to proceed to submit to the electors of the City of Bowling Green, Ohio, the question of a replacement tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation for the purpose of providing 2.0 mils for the parks and recreation purposes in the City of Bowling Green.
Mr. President,
Mr. Robinette,
I move to adopt resolution 3794.
Second.
okay, properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Dennis,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland.
Yes.
All right, resolution 3794 is adopted.
Ordinance number 8937 for third reading, ordinance authorizing the Utilities Director to execute a construction agency agreement with the Wood County Port Authority, accept grant funding from the state of Ohio, request qualifications and enter into a contract or contracts for engineering services, and to advertise for construction bids and enter into a contract or contracts for utility and right-of-way improvements for the expansion of Woodbridge Business Park.
Okay, I will move that we adopt ordinance 8937.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay,
Harold,
Yes.
Hollenbaugh,
yes.
Phipps,
Yes.
Robinette,
Yes.
Roland,
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance 8937 is adopted.
Mr. President,
Mr. Harold,
I move that we excuse John from tonight's meeting.
Second.
properly moved and seconded. All in favor of excusing Council Member Zanfordino, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Also, I would like to remind people that that our next regularly scheduled council meeting will be on Monday, July 19th. There will not be a meeting following the 4th of July holiday. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and, thought we were staying. Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.
Already drank it. You give this to
Sure.
Sure.
Oh, well,
Sorry, you missed the right. You missed it.
you should have been to every meeting this year up until this.
Yes, yes. Come back next week.